There are more chickens in the world than there are people, and these chickens provide a source of food for much of the world's population. Recently, citizens of many non-rural cities have, by way of new legislation, introduced laws in which people in residential areas can keep chickens for sustainable living purposes. Many believe that this is a way to teach the community of more ways to live green. But as the saying goes, don't count your chickens before they hatch. Chickens, not exactly the hottest commodity these days. Now with the iPods and iPhones and iPads, but these feathery friends still provide more for mankind than any electronic device. Across the country, a rash of chicken ordinances have been passed, allowing citizens in non-rural areas to keep chickens as if they were just like Fido. Proponents of these chicken ordinances sing the praises of how environmentally friendly and how self-sustainable chickens and hens are.
So, would you say that you are in favor for the legalization of Kill Devil Hills residents to own chickens?
I mean, sure, there was really no disadvantages to my neighbors owning chickens. I mean, they got out a couple of times, but they just have young children. So I think maybe if you have decent fencing and, just decent fencing and be able to keep them in so they're not a nuisance. Otherwise, there's no problem.
Okay. Can you think of any more pros to owning chickens?
Well, I mean, this might not be everyone's number one thing, but they were really good with the kids, and I mean, they kind of taught the kids responsibility, and even though they did leave the fence open from time to time, but I mean, the kids learned to be responsible, and they were very tame chickens. Like, you could pick them up, and they were very good. I think it would be a good way to teach young children to be responsible.
All right. Were there any dangers to owning chickens?
Well, when they did get out, they were a bit of a nuisance because not only would we have to put them back, but our neighborhood also has a large amount of large dogs, and we had a lot of incidences where the dogs would get at the chickens, and the chickens can harm the dogs. They with their talons, even though the chickens are more at harm. So that would be, I guess, a negative effect of owning chickens. But that was, again, it was a very rare incident, but one that did happen.
All right. Well, thank you very much. This has been Kendall and Camden.
Early in life, people did not have to worry about whether or not they could keep chickens. They just did. But as society evolves, becoming more and more keen on technology and less interested in how the world works, people are becoming, shall we say, softer. Stacy Walton is a sophomore at First Fight High School, and she is one of these quote-unquote soft people. So you absolutely hate farms, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, they smell terrible, and I really don't need to know how a farm works.
You eat food, correct?
Yeah. You kind of have to if you don't want to be malnourished.
Where does food come from in your mind?
The grocery store.
And where does the grocery store get this food?
A farm.
So if I were to ask you again, do you like farms? What would you say?
I still don't like them, but we need to have them for society to function.
The barnyard game of chicken and no chicken has recently come to light in Kill Devil Hills, where two couples have proposed new legislation to the town to amend Chapter 94, which would allow chickens to be kept in yards. With more chickens in the world than there are people, many are left to wonder just how many more we truly need. In a statement provided to us by Danny Rodriguez, resident of Kill Devil Hills, he's weary of the new law. Rodriguez says, "If we pass this, then I think people with a privacy fence should be more eligible to have chickens than people without a fence. I don't want chickens running around the whole neighborhood." First Fight High School world history teacher Brandon Wall, who is also a resident of Kill Devil Hills, is unsure about the hen law. Says Wall, "I don't mind. If people want to have chickens, then they should have them. But overall, I'm just not really sure." Natalie Welch, a sophomore at First Fight High School, is an avid horse rider and often deals with chickens in her surroundings at the barn where she keeps her horse.
They really aren't a problem. Occasionally they smell and it isn't fun, but after a while I become used to it and it's no big deal. My trainer deals with chickens more often than I do, but I still come in contact with them. Based on my research, hens can live up to 20 years, producing eggs throughout their entire life. It's a great way to ensure that you have eggs for years to come. Also, hens can lay up to 7 eggs per week. So, with only 2 hens, you can have over a dozen eggs a week.
All this sounds great and all, but what about a hen's attitude? I mean, being cooped up all day in a yard? They might become pretty feisty.
Occasionally, yes, but overall, hens make great additions to the family. They are very affectionate pets. You can even keep them indoors. Kids love them, and they make great topics for school projects.
Thank you for watching however many minutes this turns out to be. We hope that this has been informative and will aid you in your decision making.